Good morning, class. So this is chapter 9 for managerial accounting, and we are on profit planning. So in profit planning, we are going to tackle about the different types of budgets. And so let's start. So we have here profit planning, okay, budget. Budget are financial plans for the future and are a key component of planning. They identify objectives and the actions needed to achieve them. So before preparing a budget, an organization should develop a strategic plan. The strategic plan plots a direction for an organization's future activities and operations. It generally covers at least 5 years. So remember, class, that managerial accounting is also involved in future. So this in future data. So this is an example of that, class. So budgeting, we are merely forecasting, okay, so that we can establish our goals for the firm or the business. And this involves planning and control. So planning involves developing objectives and preparing various budgets to achieve these objectives, while control involves the steps taken by management that attempt to ensure the objectives are attained. Okay, so what are the advantages of budgeting? So standards for performance evaluation, improved communication and coordination, information for decision making, and also for planning. So even when you are a student, right, meron na kayong budgeting na ginagawa for your allowance, or if you have like a part-time work or business. So meron na kayong allotment. Okay, so it's actually good, no, to have a budgeting system within you. So choosing the budget period, so we have an operating budget. So operating budget ordinarily covers a 1-year period corresponding to the company's fiscal year. We also have the annual operating budget may be divided into quarterly or monthly budget. So pwede rin quarterly or monthly. So continuous budget, on the other hand, continuous or perpetual budget is a 12-month budget that rolls forward 1 month as the current month is completed. Advocates of this budget argue that there is less danger that managers will become narrowly focused on short-term basis. So it tawag nito, it rolls forward to 1 month itong continuous budget as the current month is being completed. So directing and coordinating, the budget committee reviews the budget, provides policy guidelines and budgetary goals, resolves differences that arise as the budget is prepared, approves the final budget, and monitors the actual performance of the organization as the year unfolds. The controller usually serves as the budget director, the person responsible for directing and coordinating the organization's overall budget process. So we have also here operating budgets, describe the income, operating activities of a firm, sales, production, and finished goods inventory. The ultimate outcome of the operating budget is a pro forma or budgeted income statement. Kasi each line item here, yung sales, yung production, finished goods inventory, okay, they are a line item when we prepare for a budgeted income statement. That's why ganito yung gagawin natin dito sa klase natin. Is that we'll discuss first these individual line items like sales budget, production budget, finished goods inventories budget. And then afterwards, by the end of this discussion, almost at the end, we are going to discuss about the pro forma or budgeted income statement. So some of the items coming from that we need it for the income statement, okay, will be coming from, actually almost all, lahat pala, no, the items here, no, ay manggagaling dito sa ating mga line items. We also have financial budgets, detail the inflows and outflows of cash and overall financial position. So we have here the assets portion. for budgeting, okay? Planned cash inflows and outflows appear in the cash budget. The expected financial position at the end of the budget period is shown in a budgeted or pro forma balance sheet. So, balance sheet naman for operating budgets, income statement, ang end product natin. But when it comes to financial budgets, okay, our ending budget would be the balance sheet. So, dun pupunta lahat ng line items involving cash and other. So we have here, as you can see here, no, budgeting is interconnected. Okay, we have like ito. For example, dito sa taas itong sales budget. Okay, connected siya dito kasi for number of kung ilan yung budgeted sales natin, related dyan yung sa production. Sa production budget, related sa direct materials, direct labor, and overhead. And yung finished goods inventory, cost of goods sold budget, related din yan sa budgeted income statement. And yung any disbursements from here or sa sales budget, no, or any cash inflow from the sales, okay, collections, papasok yan sa cash budget, okay, and then disbursements naman, yung sum of our expenses, papasok din sa cash budget. And then from cash budget, we have the budgeted balance sheet, and then budgeted statement of cash flows. Okay, so long-term sales and forecast. So they are all interconnected, class. Okay. So preparing the operating budget. Okay, so we said a while ago that operating budget involves sales budget, production budget, direct materials, purchases, direct labor budget, overhead budget, selling and administrative expenses, ending finished goods inventory budget, cost of goods sold budget. So, isa-isahin natin sila lahat. So, for the sake of this discussion, no, you may notice na the best way in order for us to have this budget is to actually familiarize ourselves with the table or the pattern. Makikita niyo yun mamaya dito eh. Each line item budget, no, parang meron siyang a way in order for that to be solved, yung budget. So I hope that you, if not possible, as much as possible, no, you memorize the formats. So yan natin mamaya. Okay. The first one here is the sales budget. So what is a sales budget? So sales budget shows the detailed schedule showing expected sales and expected sales for the coming periods expressed in units and dollars. So let's see. Oh. So we have here the bottom-up approach. Okay. The first step in creating a sales budget is to develop the sales forecast. This is usually the responsibility of the marketing department. One approach to forecasting sales is the bottom-up approach, which requires individual salespeople to submit sales report. So, okay, so for example here, Royal Company is preparing budgets for the quarter ending June 30. So this is the second quarter. And nagsa-start yun, syempre, start ng second quarter is April, May, and June. Yung June yung last month ng quarter, na second quarter. So we have here the budgeted sales for the next 5 months. For April, you have 20,000 units. For May, you have 50,000 units. For June, 30,000. July, 25,000. August, 15,000. And the selling price is $10 per unit. So we have here the budgeted sales per unit 20, 50, 30, and by the end of the quarter, no, this is the totality, 100,000. So we have a selling price of hindi ba ito na-edit? Wala ito na-edit. $10 per unit. So we'll have here 200,000. Multiply ngayon lang yan. Okay, 500, 300. Ayan, so 200, 500, 300, and then 1 million. Now, so this is the expected total sales, okay? And for doon naman tayo sa expected, yun na, di ba? It is budget kasi may budgeted naman eh. So diyan tayo nagsisimula, sales budget. So ang related sa sales budget is of course kasi if you have a sale, di ba? You debit, okay? Actually you debit bakit natin ito counting nito. So, para maintindihan natin, diba? Kung ano yung kinalaman niya. So, example yan, yung recording of sales. Okay? To record the sales, diba? It's either accounts receivable or cash. Right? And then you have sales. Here, okay? X, X, X. That's why, no, I have to record sales. And is it record sales? Record sales for the month. Ganyan. That's why ang related sa kanya sa sales is either the accounts receivable balance or the cash balance. So you are expected no, that there is parang relationship dito. So connected siya sa ating cash collections. So remember na itong sales budget is an operating budget, okay? Pero related siya sa cash disbursement, expected cash collection, okay? So, mamaya gagamitin natin to plus no sa when we compute for the cash inflows and outflows. Okay, so sa cash flows na. So we have here no expected cash collections. The sales are all sales on account. Oh, lahat pala sa OER. So Royal's collection pattern is okay, 70% collected in the month of sale, 25% collected in the month following sale. 5% is uncollectible. The March 31 accounts receivable balance of 30,000 will be collected in full. Okay? So this is the beginning balance. Okay? This is coming from the first quarter plus yung March 31. So ibig sabihin ko, kolekta din siya by April. So if we have it here, no, ang sales natin ng April, 30,000. Okay, kita nyo dito. From April sales na, accounts receivable pala to, sorry. Yung March 31 balance, yung expected to be collected this month, so April. Tapos from the sales budget, kaya ito talaga yung sa sales budget talaga tayo magbe-basis first and foremost, no? So from sales budget 200,000, sabi dun sa given natin, it will be collected 70% on the month of sale. So you multiply that by 140,000. By 70%, you have 140,000. Okay, and then 25% will be collected on the next month or following month. Tapos kung nagtataka kayo, saan yung 5%? Given dito, sinabi, 5% is uncollectible. So now, so you can already compute, no? So if I were you, okay, during the test, okay, ilatag nyo yung April, yung May, yung June. Okay? And then you add that, the 30,000, 40,000, the expected cash collections for April is 170,000. For May, another na naman yan. So just fill in ito, i-fill in ninyo. So for example, magkano na naman yung sales budget for May? Magkano ba yun? Ito. So 500,000 for May from our sales budget. So 70% ulit ng 500,000 is to be collected on May, tas 25% yung the following month. No, i-fill up ninyo. So April sales, May sales. Yan. Hanggang sa matapos ninyo and makarating tayo sa end ng quarter, okay? By June, meron pa dapat yung sa June dito. So June sales 70%, ito 210,000. And then when you add that up, okay, that's why the answer would be, yan, pag tinanong dito, what will be the total cash collections for the quarter? Okay, so tumingin ka dito sa title, dito sa sa dulo. Okay? dito sa quarter natin. So the expected cash collections for the quarter is 905,000. Okay, so later on, no, just take note of this because we will use these figures when we compute, no, for the cash flows. And then now let's proceed. So now after having the sales forecast, okay, and meron na rin tayong nakakapag-compute na rin tayo sa expected cash in cash ano natin, cash inflow natin, okay? Expected collection. So now let's go to the production budget, okay? So ano nga class, wait lang. Okay, sorry for the delay. Okay. So for the production budget, okay, production must be adequate to meet budget sales and provide for sufficient ending inventory. That is the purpose kung bakit tayo nagpe-prepare ng production budget. Dapat na-analyze natin kung magkano ba yung kailangan natin for our sales. Okay? Kasi remember, no, products that we produce, these are the products that we will be selling. Okay? And of course, kung meron pa tayong enough na balance for our ending inventory. So now let's go. Okay, for the production budget, the management at Royal Company wants ending inventory to be equal to 20% of the following month's budgeted sales in units. On March 31, 4,000 units were on hand. Let's prepare the production budget. So, sabi dito, no? We want for our ending inventory 20% of the following month's budgeted sales. Why is this so? Kasi in-expect natin na baka ano, dapat sakto yung inventory natin sa para meron tayong stocks or supplies na pwede nating ibenta in the long run. So, kaya yan with 20%. On March 31, 4,000 units were on hand. So, this is the beginning balance of our inventory. Okay? Let's prepare the production budget. Okay, so we have here, okay, for the production budget, okay, sabi natin, kasi yung mga figures na kailangan natin, yung budgeted sales. So we have here the desired ending inventory, okay. Paano natin to na-compute, diba? Sabi natin dito sa, sa situation, 20% ng following month's budgeted sales in units ang ending inventory natin. So look at, halimbawa dito sa April, diba? For budgeted sales, May is 50,000. So, and so that is the desired ending inventory, 10,000. And total needed is 30,000 kasi we have itong budgeted sales natin. And then less beginning inventory is equals to required production. So, if napapansin nyo class, itong pro forma natin dito sa production budget, it's actually, you can also use a T formula for that. Try natin. Ang hirap kasi dito mag-T formula eh. Diba? Pakita ko sa inyo. Sa paint na lang siguro. Kung maganda ipakita. Diba? Kung iti-T account nyo yan, no, sa inventory, doon na magano tayo ng, yung paint dito. Kalang Ano ba ito? Share screen na. So you are sharing screen. Paano ba ito i-unshare itong ipakita ko na lang. Kala nga, i-drawing ko muna sa sa T-account. Halimbawa yung inventory. Para mapakita ko sa inyo. Ano ba yan? Pangit ng drawing ko. Inventory. So, ang T-account ng inventory ay So beginning balance, beginning plus net purchases and sales hindi, mali pala to. Put into production, yung ginawa sa production, and then ending. Pangit. Pakita ko sa inyo, class. Wait lang. Ko alam kung maintindihan niyo ba to. Di ba ang pangit? Or sa production or put to process itong nandito. So we have here, di ba, yung inventory. Okay? We have here the beginning and then yung plus yung beginning units, yung plus yung sa units na hindi, mali pala to. Ito pala ay yung units bruto additional na dinagdag. Ito yung, kumbaga ito, additional sa production itong net purchases dito. Tado ako ng focus. So, beginning plus yung additional sa ating production and then yung units na we produce, okay, na i-transfer ito sa sa work in process or sa finished goods, no? And then yung ending, basta alam niyo na itong ganito. So, para ma-compute yung required natin na ito, ang kino-compute natin dito, hindi itong net, required to put sa process. Ito, itong NP dito, yung, kumbaga, kung ano yung kailangan natin na i-put pa na units. So, um, sa production, so, yun yung kino-compute natin dito. So, kaya kung mapapansin niyo dito sa formula natin, so, we have here yung budgeted sales. Okay, kumbaga ito yung, parang sabihin na natin na ito yung part ng sales. Ay, mali. Parang ito yung part ng sales, itong nandito sa Kasi yun yung ipuput sa sales itatanggalin sa inventory. So, and then desired ending inventory, o yung may ending inventory. Yung hinahanap natin dito is yung required na iput natin sa production, na idagdag natin sa production. Okay? Parang yung NP dito. Sorry, hindi yan NP dapat. Pero dapat, parang sabihin natin na new to production. So, kaya ganito, parang nag-work back tayo from our T account. Okay? And ilatag natin siya dito sa ganitong klaseng table or formula. So, you add the budgeted sales and then desired ending inventory. Okay, and then less beginning inventory, we have the required production that we need for the month of April. And ganun din yung gawin natin sa May. So, 20% from the June sales, dapat dito manggagaling yung desired ending inventory natin. Okay, so, and so on and so forth. By the way, ito, yung beginning inventory, no, from the March 31 inventory, okay? So we have, what a question here is what is the required production for May? So 46,000, it's computed by, eto syempre yung ending inventory natin from April will be the beginning inventory of May. Kaya yung 10,000 dito, so dito natin siya ilalagay sa less beginning inventory. Okay, and then for the month of May, okay, yung 30,000 dito ng June times 20%, which is yun yung desired ending inventory for the month of May. Okay, so ganun, ilatag natin siya sa lahat-lahat. So, until na, yan, makapag-come up tayo dito sa June, okay, and then for the quarter, okay, desired ending inventory, so we have a 100,000 budgeted sales. Okay, so this will be, ito yung desired ending inventory natin, no? So this will be assumed ending inventory yung coming from June. Kasi syempre yan na yung last month eh. 'Di ba? Pero when it comes to the beginning inventory, okay, syempre ang ilalatag natin dito is yung beginning kasi quarter yung pinag-uusapan natin. Ano ba yung beginning inventory ng quarter? Eh, babalik tayo dito sa yung sa March 31 balance kasi yun naman ang ano eh, ang beginning inventory ng quarter yung 4,000. Kaya 4,000 din yung nakalagay dito. Okay, so now, okay, so we have now also the direct materials budget. So, yun lang class ha. Basta ang mahalaga dito, no, tip for you guys is yung i-memorize nyo na lang yung, ano, yung format para hindi ma-hassle. No? Memorize nyo lang yung format. Kasi pag, actually, yung logic will tell you kung ano naman yung hinahanap. Diba? I-try, kung halimbawa nakalimutan nyo, kung hindi nyo memorize, i-try nyo i-account. Oh, para pag tinanong kayo yung production budget, syempre, tapos given yung sales, given yung inventory. So, kung ATT account mo, kasi malalaman mo kung paano alam mo yun, paano laruin yung mga line items dito. Na kahit na hindi mo na to memorize, pero makukuha mo siya sa T account. No? So, parang gamitan mo siya ng workback method. Okay, so, direct materials budget, the direct materials purchases budget tells the amount and cost of raw materials to be purchased in each time period. At Royal Company, 5 pounds of material are required per unit of product. Management wants materials on hand at the end of each month equal to 10% of the following month's production. On March 31, 13,000 pounds of material are on hand. Materials cost is 0.40 per pound. Let's prepare the direct materials budget. So when it comes to the direct materials, so basta tayo sa yung main ng production. So dito na tayo sa yung mga parts na ng production, mga components ng production. So ano yun? So ito yung direct materials budget. Okay, so dito, 5 pounds of material are required per unit of product. So, from production budget, makukompute natin, di ba, kung magkano yung sa direct materials budget tayo. Kasi meron na tayong production budget, yung required production for the month. Then management wants materials on hand at the end of each month equal to 10% of the following month's production. So, titingin na naman tayo sa next month's production. And then meron tayong beginning inventory, coming from the first quarter of 13,000 pounds of material are on hand. Material cost is 0.40 per pound. So let's prepare the materials budget. So you have it here, from April, May, June, and of course the end of the quarter. So we have here the production. So this comes from the production budget. So balikan nyo lang yung production budget na ginawa natin kanina. Okay? We have there itong mga to. Nakita ko lang, 26, 46, 29. So ang required daw na materials per unit, kada production is 5. So you multiply that, production, 26,000 units times 5. We have direct materials that production needs is 130,000, 230,000, and 145,000. And then, okay, so ito naman, if you can notice, add desired ending inventory, less beginning inventory is materials to be purchased. So paano ba natin yun kinompute, no? So actually parehas lang din dito sa yung formula na binigay ko kanina. I-anuhan natin. So production budget ka lang. Gusto ko kasi ipakita to sa T account eh. Pero production needs natin, pakita ko sa T account, no? Balikan natin yung T account na ginawa ko kanina. Yung pangit na T account. So here, okay, kita nyo naman, di ba? For example, ito na yung sa materials, no? Sa materials part. Materials, okay? So we have here the beginning, raw materials, okay? Net purchases, yan. Okay, so ito yung to be, um, yung para sa production natin, di ba? And then ending inventory. Okay, so ano ba yung hinahanap natin dito? Okay, so ang hinahanap natin dito sa direct materials budget is materials to be purchased. Magkano yung idadagdag natin dito? So, dito yung net purchases dito, hinahanap natin. So, kung i-work back mo yan, no? So, ito yung production. Tapos, kumbaga, mag-start ka dito sa production, di ba? Pag ganyan. So, yung ending inventory, so, i-work back mo lang using this formula. No? From production, you add the desired ending inventory. So, ending inventory, i-add mo and then i-less mo yung beginning inventory. And then, you will be able to arrive at the net purchases. Okay? So, kaya ganito yung so ito yung formula natin. So, materials production needs, ito yung syempre yung ipuput natin sa production. I-add natin yung ending inventory and then less natin yung beginning inventory and we will be able to arrive at the materials to be purchased or yung necessary, okay, net purchases. Okay? So just fill in this information, no, using the data provided. Okay? So sabi dito, meron sinabi dito eh. Management wants, dito sa third paragraph, management wants materials to on hand at the end of each month equal to 10% of the following month's production. Okay, so 10% of the following month's production. So yung ending inventory natin, no, 10% sa production ng following month. So yan, 230,000, 23,000. And we have here yung beginning inventory coming from the for the first quarter, ending inventory yung nung March, yung 13,000. And then ito, how much material should be purchased in May? So ilatag natin lahat ng figures, okay, dito. So we have here the answer is 221,500, no? So from here, sa May naman, yung may production ka, and add desired ending inventory, 14,500 times yan dun sa, nanggaling yan dito sa 145,000 times 10%. And then i-add mo yan sa production needs, less beginning inventory. This came from the desired ending inventory nung April. Okay, and then materials to be purchased, 221,500. So, ganun. So, June, ganun din sa June. So, ito sa June, no? So, mapapansin ninyo, yung desired ending inventory nung June will be considered as the ending inventory for the quarter. Kasi siya na yung last na month eh. So, siya na yung ending inventory. Okay? Tapos mapapansin niyo yung by the end of the quarter, yung kina-consider natin na beginning inventory came from April, which is yung 13,000 dito. Hindi pala April. Came from from March. Yung last ending inventory, yung ending inventory by the end of the March or first quarter, okay? So siya yung beginning inventory natin sa current quarter. I hope that's clear. So, ganun lang. Ilatag nyo lang lahat ng figures and you will be able to arrive, okay, at the budget. So, expected cash disbursements for materials. Ito naman tayo. So, of course, dito, so, syempre, kung napapansin niyo purchases yan, di ba? So, when it comes to purchases, class, no, ano ba yung corresponding niya na accounting? Okay, so, syempre, pag purchases o accounting for purchases, for purchases, no? It's either, okay, so dito tayo. Ay, yan na nawala ito. At walang insert dito. Oy, lumabas ka, insert. Wala yung insert na ano. Hindi ko wala na lang natin dito. Okay? So, the accounting for purchases, no? You debit, ay, wala. You debit, anong i-debit natin dito? Okay? Ano ba i-debit natin dito? Okay, so, it's either pupunta yan sa ano, cost of goods sold, right? Big, or, ano, purchases pa lang muna. So, the, um, materials, or depende, no, kung inventoryable yan, inventory, or pwede yan pumasok din sa cost of goods sold, or cost of goods. So, pwede yan yung i-inventory mo na, yung material, so, or yung pwede na sa cost of goods sold, di ba? And then, uh, it's either accounts payable or cash or accounts payable. Inventory or purchases, COGS, or pwede din yan sa ano, purchases. Ayan, sa purchases na ano. Ba't naka-center to? Naka-center pala to eh. Diba? So, pero ang important thing dito, no? Meron tayong tinatawag na cash disbursement dito. Okay? So, cash or accounts payable. So, kaya interconnected siya yung disbursement natin sa purchase ng material. So, here, no, in this firm, no, Royal pays 0.40 per pound for its materials. One half of month's purchase are paid for in the month of purchase. The other half is paid in the following month. So for the March 31 accounts payable balance is 12,000. Let's calculate expected cash disbursement. Lang ah. So we have here no expected cash disbursements for materials. So we have here for April, May, June, and then October. Okay. Siyempre related dito is yung accounts payable. So we have the beginning balance of the accounts payable as of March 31, $12,000. And we have the purchases. So sabi dito, one half of month's purchases are paid for in the month of purchase, the other half is paid in the following month. So, one half, kung dito, ang purchases natin, April purchases natin, saan natin yan makukuha? Di ba? Saan natin makukuha itong purchases natin? Doon tayo, bumalik tayo sa direct materials budget, remember? Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, interconnected itong mga to eh. Ha? So, from April, dito sa direct materials budget, ito na yung purchases natin. Okay, so 142,215, 142,5. So, no, so 140,000. Ay, okay. So, I forgot, no? Dito kasi sa direct materials, sa inventory side to. So, kailangan pa natin siyang i-multiply by the kung magkano meron dito yung price eh. Naalala niyo to? Yung material cost. Okay? So, per pound. So, ito yung price niya. So, 0.40. Okay? And from our materials to be purchased, okay? Ito yung units, pero i-times natin siya by the with cost, the unit cost, in order for us to arrive, okay, at the purchases for the month. So pag April purchases, we have yan yung $56,000. Okay? So yan yung 140,000 pounds times 0.40 per pound unit cost. So we have 56,000. Sabi dyan, to be collected daw, half of which in the current month and half to the following month. So from April, 56,000 times 50, 28. And then for May, yan, ito siya, pupunta, 20. And you fill that up, no? Hanggang sa makaabot kayo sa June and sa dulo. So the question here is, what are the total cash disbursements for the quarter? Oh, the answer is 185,000. So you computed that here, no? Ito from April purchases, 56,000, 28, yan kalahati sa April, napunta sa May din yung kalahati. From May purchases, 88,600, half, punta sa June. And then yung June, half niyan, 56,800 yung purchases. And then yung next nito is sa sa next quarter na papasok. So yan, i-add nyo lang lahat. Okay? By the end of the quarter, you have this expected cash disbursements for materials for the quarter. So now let's go on naman sa direct labor budget. Direct labor budget shows the total direct labor hours and the direct labor cost needed for the number of units in the production budget. At Royal, each unit of product requires 0.05 hours of direct labor. So each unit daw, no? Oh, so mamaya babalikan na naman natin yung production budget natin, 'di ba? Kasi di mo naman. Oh, kakailanganin natin yung details doon. Compute for direct labors. Dito, so 0.05 hours of direct labor, and then the company has a no layoff policy. So all employees will be paid for 40 hours of work each week. So no layoff policy sila. And then in exchange for the no layoff policy, workers agreed to a wage rate of $10 per hour regardless of the hours worked. Okay, so no overtime pay. So kahit na sobra-sobra, wala tayong excess na i-consider pagdating sa direct labor hours o bayad. Walang overtime eh. So ang condition niya, no layoff. So walang matatanggal sa kanila sa trabaho. Ibig sabihin, no, assured sila sa a particular point ng sweldo nila. For the next 3 months, the direct labor workforce will be paid for a minimum of 1,500 hours per month. So meron silang minimum. Okay, so hours per month yung na bayad. Okay, so yun pala i-consider na natin yun. No, i-take in consider na natin siya sa pagko-compute dito. So the direct labor budget we have here, no. This came from the production budget. Okay, so we have here the direct labor hour or hours required, di ba? 0.05. Okay? So magkano yung direct labors are required? So 1,300 hours for April, 2,300 for May, for June is 1,450. Okay? We have here guaranteed labor hours kasi sabi natin dun sa situation, babayaran sila ng sure. Magkano yung sure? Di ba? Ilang sure yun? Ilang hours yung sure nila? 1,500, di ba? Nabayad. So yan, 1,500 yan yung guaranteed labors are 1,500, 1,500, 1,500. And then, dito, so ito yung required versus yung guaranteed. So wala namang excess. Walang excess dito sa number 1. Pero ipipiliin natin kung saan yung mas higher. Higher of labor hours required or labor hours guaranteed. So we have here 1,500 for April. Sa May naman yung labor hours required nila 2,300. And then 1,500 for June. Kasi sabi 'di ba, 1,500 talaga yung guarantee, pero kung may exceed dito yan yung depende sa production, yung nag-exceed sa production, nag-increase yung production dito sa May. So we have the wage rate of, magkano yung wage rate kanina? $10 per hour. So, i-multiply nyo yan by $10. So, 1.5. Yan, times 10 is 15,000. We have 2.3 times 10 is 23,000. 1.5 times 10 is 15,000. Okay, so this is the total direct labor cost. Okay, 15, 23, 15, and then the total for the quarter is 53,000. So what would be the total direct labor cost for the quarter if the company allows its no layoff policy, but pays $15 for every hour worked in excess of 1,500 hours in a month? So nawala na yung no layoff policy, pero kapag may additional, no, kapag may excess sa direct labor hours, okay, so, i-multiply natin by $15. So, parang may additional to, na overtime to. So, using the same data, okay, for April, wala namang excess. For May, may excess ka, 800. So, for May, okay, so sa May natin, okay, so ang total hours, ito is yung 1.3 plus itong yung excess dito yung 4.5 yan eh. Kasi 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. 4.5 times 10. Tapos yung excess, yung 800, yun yung i-multiply mo by 15. And you will arrive at 12,000. And then June is 7,000. Total pay. Now let's go to the manufacturing overhead budget. So the overhead budget shows the expected cost of all production costs other than direct materials and direct labor. Many companies use direct labor hours as the driver for overhead. Costs that vary with direct labor hours are pulled in and called a variable overhead. Remaining overhead items are pulled into fixed overhead. So, okay, sorry. So, manufacturing overhead, ano yan? Royal Company uses a variable manufacturing overhead rate of $1 per unit produced. Fixed manufacturing overhead is $50,000 per month and includes $20,000 of non-cash costs, primarily depreciation of plant assets. Let's prepare the manufacturing overhead budget. So here we have yung production natin multiplied by variable manufacturing overhead rate to arrive at the variable manufacturing overhead cost. Okay, 26, 46, 29, 101. And then you add the fixed manufacturing overhead of 50,000 and you deduct plus the non-cash cost. Depreciation is a non-cash disbursed charge. So you will be able to arrive at the cash disbursement for manufacturing overhead. So kaya nga tinatanonggal natin yung mga non-cash cost dyan. Mamaya, gagamitin kasi natin to eh, itong figures na to for our cash inflows and outflows. So yan, as ito, cash disbursement. So 56,000, 76, 79, and 191,000. Ending finished goods inventory budget. The ending finished goods inventory budget supplies information needed for the balance sheet and also serves as an important input for the preparation of the cost of goods sold budget. So, here, now Royal can complete the ending finished goods inventory budget. At Royal, manufacturing overhead is applied to units of products on the basis of direct labor hours. So let's calculate the ending finished goods inventory. So finished goods inventory, okay, product cost per unit, okay, 5 pounds, di ba? From our, ano kanina, 5 units no I mean 5 pounds per unit, okay? Times 40 cost. So meron tayong unit cost for direct materials of $2. Okay, so this is coming from the direct materials budget information. We have the direct labor, which is 0.05 hours for every unit of production, times multiplied by the unit cost of $10. You'll have the 0.5. Okay, so, and then manufacturing overhead. Ano yun? Manufacturing overhead, 0.05 hours. Okay, so times 49.7. So this 49.7, it came from the total manufacturing overhead for the quarter, okay, 251,000, and divided by the total labor hours required. Ano ba yun makikita dito? Direct labor hours. Dito yan, no? Sa labor hours required. So coming from the 5,050 budget dito sa quarter. Saan ba yan? So budgeted finished goods inventory. So we have ending inventory in units. Unit times unit cost, yung total unit cost dito, and equals to ending finished goods inventory. So what is the value of the ending finished goods inventory? So 24,000. This came from the production budget. No? We have a 5,000 there sa production budget natin for ending inventory in units. And then times the unit cost, okay, 4.99. We have the ending finished goods inventory, $24,950. So we're almost there na. Malapit na. Marami na tayong na-explain ng mga budgeting. So we have here a selling and administrative expense budget. The next budget to be prepared, the selling and administrative expenses budget outlines planned expenditures for non-manufacturing activities as with overhead, selling, and administrative expenses can be broken down into fixed and variable components. So, hindi sila part ng manufacturing activities. Pero ano yung relevance nito ng selling administrative expense budget? Okay? Remember that these are also cash disbursements. So, kailangan natin tong figures na ito mamaya. Okay, when we compute for the cash flow budget. So, kasi expenses to eh. Okay, so it's broken down as well into variable and fixed components. So here, okay, at Royal, variable selling and administrative expenses are 0.50 per unit sold. Fixed selling and administrative expenses are $70,000 per month. The fixed selling and administrative expenses include $10,000 in costs, primarily depreciation, that are not cash outflows of the current month. So tatanggalin natin yan mamaya, okay? In computing for the disbursement side on the selling and administrative expense. So let's prepare the selling and administrative expense budget. So ang goal natin dito is malaman kung magkano yung cash disbursement natin related to this. So we have here the budgeted sales, okay, multiplied by the variable selling and administrative rate, 0.5. Okay, variable expense natin yon. And then yung add natin yung selling expense na 70,000. Less natin yung non-cash expenses. So we have an outflow of cash disbursement for selling and administrative of 70,000. And you fill that up as well, class, so for the rest of the months. And then you will be able to arrive at the quarterly cash disbursement for selling and administrative, yan, 230,000. So, yan yung parang end figure na dapat maano natin. So now, after computing for the operating budget and operating budgets, no, we can now have, okay, the budgeted income statement. So for Royal Company, the budgeted income statement for the 3 months ended June 30. No, we have here sales less cost of goods sold, cost of gross margin, selling and less selling and administrative expense, and then operating income. Okay, so interest expense 2,000 and then net income 239,000. So eto makikita nyo yan dito, yung selling and administrative total expense, andyan yan. Dito sabay the quarter. So now, preparing the financial budget. The remaining budgets found in the master budget are the financial budgets. The usual financial budgets prepared are cash budget, budgeted balance sheet, and then budget for capital expenditures. So the cash budget, understanding cash flows is critical in managing a business. Often, a business successfully produces and sells products but fails because of timing problems associated with cash inflows and outflows. The basic structure of a cash budget includes cash receipts, disbursements, any excess or deficiency of cash, and financing. At its simplest, a cash budget is cash inflows minus cash outflows. So, in Royal, now, the firm maintains a 16% open line of credit for $75,000. Maintains a minimum cash balance. Ito class okay? Pagdating sa cash budget, ito kailangan nyo talaga itong fokusan. Ito, yung tinatawag na minimum cash balance. Okay? Kasi kung after computing, okay, for the inflows and disbursements, or cash receipts and disbursements, pag nag-fall out tayo dito, kulang yung minimum cash balance ng firm, okay? We may need to resort to financing or to loan. So minsan kailangan nating umutang para ma-maintain natin tong cash balance. So take note of this, no? Minimum cash balance. So, borrows on the first day of the month and repays loans on the last day of the month o last day. Kaya ito, importante yung budgeting dito kasi makikita natin, no, kung syempre magbabaro ka on the first day of the month kasi nakapag-forecast ka na, okay? Na ganito yung magiging budget mo for this quarter, okay? So, we have ito, pays a cash dividend. So, this is another outflow of 49,000, purchases of 142,700 in May, and 140,000 are paid in cash. So another disbursement to. As an April 1 cash balance of $40,000, this will be your beginning inventory. Okay, so now let's compute. So for our cash budget, we have here the beginning inventory, 40,000. We add, of course, the collections. So where did we get this collection? So nakita natin yan dun sa makikita natin yan dun sa budget natin sa expected cash collections kanina. And then we have now the total cash available. Less natin yung disbursement. So 40,000 came from the schedule of expected cash disbursement. Okay, tapos and so on. Lahat yan ng figures dito makikita natin sa mga previous natin na ginawa na budget. Yung direct labor, manufacturing overhead, selling and admin. Tapos meron yung dividends dito kasi yung nasabi sa facts, no, that we distributed cash dividends. So total disbursements natin. So if you can notice, yung total disbursements natin is 230,000 is greater than our total cash available of 210,000. So meron tayong deficiency na 20,000 dito. Okay? Because Royal maintains a cash balance of $30,000, the company must borrow on its line of credit. So uutang tayo. Magkano yung utangin natin, no? Para matanggal yung negative and magkaroon ng budget na 30,000. So syempre ang utangin natin dito para to have a 30,000 budget is $50,000. Right? So, dito, you add dito sa dulo yung financing. So, we have the borrowing of 50,000, total financing, and then, so this is like an additional, right? Additional to sa fund natin. So, ending cash balance now is 30,000. So, ending cash balance for April is the beginning May balance. So on. So, yan. So, just fill it up again with the information that we computed. Okay? So, dito, by the end of total cash available less disbursement, so 30,000 na. So, hindi na natin kailangan mag-financing. So, dito naman, by the end of June, because the ending cash balance is exactly 30,000, sa May pala to, Royal will not repay the loan this month. Kasi, di ba, sabi dito, by the end of the month tayo nagbabayad ng utang. So, what is the excess deficiency of available cash disbursements for June? So, when we computed lahat, latag natin lahat ng information from our previous budgets. And then, we have here excess or deficiency of cash available over disbursement. So, we have an excess, 95,000. Okay? So, pagdating sa ating financing, at the end of June, Royal has enough cash to repay the 50,000 loan plus interest at 16%. So, how do you compute that? Diba? So, 50,000, syempre, ito yung balance natin, 95,000, 50,000, pa natin and then yung interest na 50,000 times 16% times 3 over 12, kasi for the past 3 months yan, okay? 2,000 yung interest natin. So, this part of, kailangan i-zero out natin to, no? Matanggal natin yung borrowing and of course, mag-compute tayo for interest, which is a disbursement account. So, 95 less 52,000. So, we have the 43,000, okay? Ending cash balance as of June. So, by the end of the quarter, no? So, ganun din. So, 43,000 yung ending cash balance. So, the budgeted balance sheet, Royal reported the following account balances prior to preparing its budgeted financial statements. We have this additional information. The land worth $50,000, common stock $200,000, retained earnings $146,150, equipment of $175,000. So, in preparing the balance sheet, of course, you have the assets, okay? And then the liabilities, okay, we have here the cash, no? So 25% of, this is 43,000 coming from our cash budget, cash, sa cash budget natin. And then accounts receivable, okay, so sales of June, 25%. Lahat yan makikita natin, class, dun sa mga previous natin na ginawa na mga budget. Okay, in addition lang, yung property and equipment rather, yung land, 150,000 and equipment, 367,000 for a total of 564,550 assets. And then accounts payable, 50%, yung purchases, 50% of June purchases, yan. Common stock, retained earnings, total liabilities, and equity. Okay, so, lahat ng info dyan, no, galing dun sa natin. And of course, yung retained earnings natin, kay beginning balance, 146,150, i-add yung net income, less dividends, 49,000. So these are all interconnected class. Okay, yung mga transactions. So using budget for performance evaluation, positive behavior occurs when the goals of each manager are aligned with the goals of the organization and each manager has the drive to achieve them. The alignment of managerial and organizational goals is often referred to as goal congruence. So, goal congruence. No? Dysfunctional behavior is individual behavior that is in basic conflict with the goals of the organization. Frequent, timely performance reports allow managers to know how successful their efforts have been to take corrective actions and to change plans if necessary. So we have here monetary incentives, diba? So, or non-monetary incentives. Okay, so incentives are the means an organization uses to influence a manager to exert effort to achieve an organization's goal. So, parang ito yung, kumbaga, pampasaya, pampasaya sa mga manager natin, no? To inspire them, no, to achieve their organizational goals. So rather than imposing budgets on subordinate managers, participative budgeting allows subordinate managers considerable say in how the budgets are established. So participative budgeting has three potential problems though. So these are yung mga cons natin, no? Or these are disadvantages probably or problems involved. Setting standards that are either too high or too low. So the trick is to get managers in participative setting to set high but achievable goals. Building slack into the budget, often referred to as padding the budget, so exists when a manager deliberately underestimates revenues or overestimates costs in an effort to make the future period appear less attractive in the budget than they think it will be in reality. So we also have a pseudo participation. So the third problem with participation occurs when top management assumes total control of the budgeting process, seeking only superficial participation from lower level managers. So superficial lang pala yung participation. So ng managers dito kasi more influential pa rin yung sa top. Okay. So budgeted, using budgets for performance evaluation. So budgeted objectives are used to gauge performance. So accordingly, they should be based on realistic conditions and expectations. Budgets should reflect operating realities, including the following: the actual levels of activity, seasonal variations, efficiencies, and general economic trends. So ideally, managers are held accountable only for the costs that they can control. Controllable costs are costs whose level of a manager can influence. While financial measures of performance are important, overemphasis can lead to a form of dysfunctional behavior called milking the firm or myopia. Myopic behavior occurs when a manager takes action that improve budgetary performance in the short run but bring long-run harm to the firm. No? So, short run lang pala yung perform. Kasi pag ganito, no? Pag performance evaluations manager, no, positive siya ngayong quarter or ngayong year, pero in the long run pala, no, makakasama pala siya sa firm. So, parang ang ginagawa dito ni manager, he wants, to look, to make himself look good, okay, for this, probably for the incentives, yan. And, kasi it will affect his performance evaluation. So, for example, here, to meet budgeted cost objectives or profits, managers can delay promoting deserving employees or reducing expenditures for preventive maintenance, advertising, and new product development. So, alam mo yun, so we are trying to control the budget, pero maapektuhan naman yung empleyado natin or other aspects of our firm. So, the key here, no, is a balance of everything, and it depends from one organization to another. So that's it, class, for budgeting. Okay, so thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from this discussion.